8:45. We know Election Day is exactly 1 week away, as we've been telling all of you. And a lot of parents who will be voting will, be starting that discussion with their children. So how do you talk to your kids about voting? We've got Patrice Wright, a parent educator at the Parenting Center, joining us with some of that advice. And I love this because mine are still so little.
Right.
But, maybe starting early is a good idea to have that discussion.
Yeah. Actually starting family discussions, just understanding how elected officials are helping with decision making that impact our lives every day. Talking about political or party affiliation, being able to talk about where politicians fall, federal, state, and local levels. Paying attention to environmental print with all the signage everywhere. So the discussions can be age appropriate depending on what age your child is, but certainly worth starting.
Yeah, and it's true, because when I think of friends of mine who say, well, I always vote, like that's not a question,
No.
versus maybe friends who, well, I don't know if my vote matters, or I don't know if I'll have time. It seems like the friends who say, I definitely always vote no matter what, it's because they were raised in a household where you just are expected to vote.
Yeah, it is the expectation. But the discussion matters, Brianna. You have to be able to talk about it. They may not be able to understand it in grave detail, but being able to start the discussion very early on helps their understanding year after year.
Absolutely, and makes them more interested. I love that some of your suggestions too, to get them interested, or maybe trying your own mock election at home.
Yes, mock elections at home. It could be family related, it can be neighborhood related. It doesn't always have to involve what's happening on the politician line or what's happening in politics. It can be voting on what we eat for dinner this week. It can be voting on what type of activities we do this week. But if your goal is to make sure your kids understanding the power of voting, certainly include a mock election that involves the candidates.
Yeah, I love that. And I never thought about the last one, but maybe actually visiting the polling place with your child.
Yes, as early as when they're little and they're in the little carrier, and from when they're a toddler, they can actually push the button. Very easy. But understanding the power of bringing them with you so that they can actually see what you're doing and realize that it's their civic duty as well. Yep.
I think these are great ideas. And like we said, never too early, but it's about giving them that exposure and constantly bringing it up year by year. I think, as you said, that'll just reaffirm to them, even if they don't fully understand, but this is important.
It is important, and it should start now.
There we go. I love it. Always the best advice from you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
The Parenting Center, a great resource for parents. You can contact them either online or at the website on your screen. You can have that number right there. And they've always got a number of classes too, either in person or by Zoom, where you can go and, learn something important about how you parent or about your children.